Doc, this question is, does age matter in choosing a marriage partner?
You mean age difference?
Yes and no.
We mean yes.
Yes and no. That's my answer.
Oh.
It matters and it doesn't matter. It matters because it matters. Marriage is complicated by itself. It's two people from different backgrounds trying to build a life. That is complex. And then it's two different genders. One is male, the other is female, trying to build a life. That is complex. And then sometimes it is two people from different social backgrounds. That's complex. On top of that, if you have an age gap, that adds to the complexity, not the impossibility, but the complexity. My thinking is, anytime there is more than a 7-year gap in a couple, they have to pay extra attention to the marriage. And the reason why I say 7 years is because it meant that you were never part of the same events at the same time. By the time you went to primary one, the other one had finished primary school. One time you went to junior secondary school, they finished junior secondary school. Time you went to university, they finished university. So you never met at any point to be formed by the same events, the same ideas. So that is where the complexity comes in. And then as you grow older, biological complexities will also come in. So it's not an impossibility, but it's something you must be mindful of if you're going to marry somebody who is older. It just adds to the complexity of marriage. It's complex by itself, but other factors add new dimensions. So you have to be mindful of it and get good counsel on it. And also, because you are mindful, talk about it and see how you can manage all the differences that will come along as you try to build your relationship.
Doc, it's a follow-up question. Normally, you would see a couple, the man is maybe a year or two older than the lady, and they're fine, they get married, and the lady is fine with it. But when the tables turn and the lady is maybe a year or two older than the gentleman, then she's like, no, I don't want to marry someone who is younger than me. What do you say about that?
I think it came from a certain sociological, sociocultural background, where the man was supposed to be the leader, and we saw leadership in different ways. You know, normally when they say somebody is a leader, we define leadership by certain metrics. So for example, when they say the man is a head, we expect him to be taller. It doesn't mean he's a better man, but we think if he's taller, it means the woman looks up to him, which is a falsehood, but that's how we measure it. Or we expect he should have more money. He should have more education. He should be older. But over the last 20 years, there's been a lot of balancing of the genders because of classroom, sitting in the same class with people and so on. And we are seeing women who are younger, some in their 30s, heading big corporate organizations. It wasn't so 50 years ago. You only see men doing that, but women are doing that. Women are leading churches, and they lead people who are far older than them. So the idea that a woman who is older than a man is unacceptable in marriage came from a sociological background, but I believe that we have gone beyond that. And it's possible age can be higher or lower, either way. It can be the woman who is older or the man who is older, all same age. The only thing I want people to know is it introduces complexities, not impossibilities, but complexities. And once you accept this is introducing a complexity, you have to find remedies for the complexity.
Pastor Eric, a follow-up to Pastor Morley's question that how can one know that this is the right person for me?
How can one know this is the right person for me? That's a heavily loaded question, Pastor Eric. There are people who believe that there is one person for each person. And so there is a particular person I must marry. It's not a view I share, because it is a very fatalistic worldview and can create major collisions. And the reason I say that is, if that is so, if Pastor Eric, there is one particular person, you're supposed to marry this particular person. And for some reason you make a mistake and don't marry that person, it means whoever that person marries is a mistake. And whoever should have married that other person, so one person's mistake is creating a whole chain reaction of mistakes. I don't think so. I don't think God has earmarked one particular person that a person must marry. But there are important things that we all take into consideration to marry. First of all, that the person is a believer. And it doesn't mean that they will be better in marriage. It just simply means you have a basis of instruction and a basis of guidance and a basis of evaluation, that when you have to resolve a problem, there's a common belief system you can appeal to. It doesn't minimize your problems, but it gives you better tools to manage your marriage. Then you have to look at other compatibilities that suits you, your personality, your likes, your dislikes, and pray. And if you don't feel any sense of rejection in your heart, and you feel peace in your heart concerning her or concerning him, then go ahead and go and tell whoever you have to talk to and move on with your lives. It doesn't minimize your problems. It doesn't mean that if you marry a believer, there will be no problems. It simply means that you now share the same belief system. And so when you have a problem, you can all approach it. You can pray about it. You can study the Bible. You can take the Bible's worldview. And also that your children will have a unified worldview to grow up in, because you share your faith with the person.